Well, yeah. Well, an analysis, that's pretty boring when you have won a game and you have plenty of time to do that later. I don't know. Of course, things like that will impact the game. A goal will impact the game. So you don't know. We'll never know the answer to that. There was a red card and the game turned this way. So, you could say that certain things about, well, I mean, if they don't score first, what happens then? If we don't equalize, what happens then? That's the way it is. I think it's rather like the game as it developed was that we played against a really good German team, and they really shocked us in the opening there, bit like we did against Italy. No, not against Italy. No, against Poland, when we had like 4 chances in 4 minutes. They had constantly chances to score, and we couldn't really manage to get out of it, play our way out of it, and counterattack. And then we knew we will get opportunities to counterattack because their back line is playing so high up. And we had a pretty good period there where we could hurt them. We didn't have as many chances that we had against Poland and Denmark as we would get against Germany. And those are the things that determine a game sometimes. Sometimes you need different ways of both attacking and defending. And we knew in this game, when you play this kind of opposition, counterattacking will be very important. And we are good at that, and we could show that today. There were not as many crosses from the wings, and things like that, even though Smilla did some combination of all of that when she ran with it and hit it and it bounced and whatnot. He can say whatever he wants, but I don't have an analysis right now. And again, about Smilla Holmberg, how did you reason around that when you chose to put her in the starting 11 or starting her today? Because you looked a bit shocked when that ball actually found the back of the net at the end. Well, oh, sometimes decisions are based on the experience you have and what you have done before, and things pop up. And in this instance, it was actually her teammates, Stina Lennartsson, who played against Germany away in a 0-0 match, and it was reminiscent of that. Stina Lennartsson is a similar player as to Smilla, and we thought that might work well against Germany with those, characteristics. We might not get as much out of it against a very defensive team. We have some really good positions in this match. We have Smilla and we have Lundqvist as well, who's really skilled. It's really tough sometimes when you choose your starting 11. And I chose mine based on the opposition this time rather than that, the fact that she was perhaps less experienced. She has shown that she's a courageous player who can play really well, being supported by Natalie Björn on the right hand side and with Lulu, for example. She's got good players around her, and she showed today that she can play at this level. And the penalty and everything that took place, were you keeping up with events? Well, I didn't see what happened. I still haven't seen it in replays and stuff. I just concluded, yeah, there was a penalty and a red card, and at that stage we're ahead 2-1. So that is of course a very important, crucial part of the game that we get the red card and the penalty kick. And I might think that it's really harsh. Of course it is, to get both a penalty kick and a red card, but that's what the rules state. Uh, you know. And what do you say about Smilla's performance and the goal that she scores? Well, it's hard to say anything about her performance when you're sitting at this side right now. You mostly see it from our end. I would like to see what happened between Smilla and Natalie Björn than what I see about Ulfrida on the left-hand side. I'm going to have to look at that later and analyze it. But in certain moments, you can really see what a skilled player she is. And she's also got that character to step up and take a penalty kick and score. That was her first 45 minutes in a very long time. So it was really important for us as a team and for her, for Fridolina, to get those 45 minutes. She could have continued to play for longer, but we chose to take her off, looking forward to the quarterfinals. And how will you be watching the matches tomorrow? I will watch them. But how? Well, I'm not gonna be here. I don't even know where they're gonna play. I'm not gonna be on site. I'm gonna watch them from our base. 2 screens? Oh, perhaps it could be, but I can also watch them afterwards as well. I'm gonna focus on one of them at least and try to do that job, and then I'm gonna have to watch the other match later and see what the outcome is. But it's gonna be a very interesting Sunday evening. So which one would you prefer to watch? I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to see. Perhaps Magnus will watch one and I will watch the other. And I might let him make the calls.
Like the chance to face England again and maybe get some revenge?
Oh, 3 years ago. I don't know, because that was a special game, and now it's we had other players, they have other players, so I don't really know what I don't focus on that game, and I think that game was a very special game. It was we have very good opportunities first 20 minutes to score goals. I think we have 3 or 4 very big then it went well for us because they scored 4 goals. So, but that's history. Now it's a new game if we're going to meet England. We're going to write a new history. Better history. Good history.
Congratulations on the win. Do you feel like Sweden have laid down a marker to the rest of Europe now and you've shown yourself as serious contenders? And should the other teams in the quarterfinals fear Sweden as serious contenders for the trophy?
Yeah, we have met Wales 2 times, so we know that they're good teams. We have two draws against them, so I think they're taking. I don't know if it's. I think we know when we come to this tournament that we only take one game ahead, and then first was Denmark, then was Poland, now Germany, and now we have the quarterfinal. And I'm not a dreamer and think like that I happen to stand with a gold medal. I think that you have to take the quarterfinal and take that game, and maybe it's a dull answer, but that's how I work. So now it's an important training tomorrow for the substitute and things like that. So that's a normal day for us as a coach, and then we take next game, quarterfinal, and then we see what's happening. So, but it's always a good. You feel good when you win the game. So that's about. So we see what's happening.
Sjunde minuten så släppte ni in ett mål, Peter.
So you conceded a goal in the 7th minute. I'm sure that wasn't part of the game plan. What was your feeling? Come again? In the 7th minute when you conceded a goal, I presume that was not part of the game plan. So what were your feelings? Well, that wasn't what we wanted, of course. And a few times when you find yourself, conceding a goal. I think it was the first time since we played Italy in Nations League where we conceded a goal in 20 seconds. So of course, you always want the first goal. You want to score first. But I think historically you don't win many matches where you concede the first goal. I think in the most recent Euros, I think it was 1 or 2 matches where teams managed to turn that around. So it happens very rarely. Now we managed to do it. So going forward, I think that if we concede the first goal, even if you don't talk about it, there's still that sense of, hey, we can do this. But if you've never done it before, then you don't know. But we know now from fairly recently that we can turn a match around against really good opponents. So we'll bring that with us. Was it nice in the second half when the match felt a little bit stale there and was already decided? Was it nice to kind of rest some players and put some others onto the pitch? Well, yeah, of course. You don't always find yourself in that kind of position. Now we were lucky enough to have 2 substitutes in at halftime, and with 3-1, and they had 1 player less, of course. So you always have to wait till your final substitution, of course. But it felt good, and it is not just that you take someone off the pitch. It's also about bringing someone in who can get a feel for the atmosphere. As a coach, you would like really to be able to make 10 substitutions in the second half if you could, to ensure that every player could get the feel here, that what it feels like running onto the pitch. But yeah, of course, it's definitely nice to be able to make that substitution. A final question there from the road in the back. Peter, we always ask the players what they thought about the supporters and the support from the stands, but I thought I'd ask you the same thing. They were really going for it for 90 minutes. How did you feel? Well, I have never, as a coach for the national side, experienced the kind of support we had today. We had a whole section that were completely yellow and a little bit of blue, but mostly yellow. And then just above our bench, we had loads of people as well. So we were kind of enclosed in an enormously cool way. And of course, it feels great that we're playing here again on Thursday. So that's almost like home field advantage, even though even though we were playing a different team, we had our own supporters very close to us, and the German supporters were a bit further away, and that was a lovely feeling. And I do know that it has been and is very big back home in Sweden when you start, looking at outdoor arenas and screens and stuff and people gathering. So that's really cool. We're going to try to make sure